Good afternoon. I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins, and today is Monday, March 5th, 2025, and this is our weekly media update. So we have some exciting things that we're going to hear this afternoon. We're certainly going to hear from the Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney. We're going to talk about Mental Health Awareness Month with Commissioner Michael Orth and the Executive Director of Nonprofit Westchester, Jan Fisher. We're going to have an opportunity to hear from Disconnect to Reconnect. We have County Legislators Catherine Parker and County Legislator Judah Holstein that'll be here with Rosie Finizio and certainly Katie Renase, who is our acting executive director at the Westchester Children's Museum. And then we're going to wrap up this afternoon in talking for the National Correction Professionals Week with the Commissioner of Correction, Joe Sparrow, and the entire team. Our leadership team is here with us this afternoon. And of course, we will have to talk about our nationally accredited and award-winning park system. But our municipal guest that we're going to lead off with tonight is our good friend from the village of Rybrook, Jason Klein. Jason is going to let us know everything that's happening in Rybrook. He's been mayor, and they have about 10,000 people that are in the village of Rybrook, certainly nestled in the north part, right before you hit over to the Connecticut line, right on the line there. And it's our good friend here, Jason Klein. Come on down, Jason. It's good to see you.
Thank you. All right, first off, thank you to the County Executive, Ken Jenkins, for inviting me to come here. This is my first trip here with you as the County Executive, but I've been here a few times before. As Ken said, I'm Jason Klein, the mayor of Rybrook. I just finished my first 3-year term and in March was reelected for another 3-year term. It's kind of apropos that it's raining today. A lot of what I have to talk about is flooding. Which we've seen quite our share of in Rybrook, unfortunately. We are the first community in Westchester to go through the NRCS program of actually buying out houses in flood-prone areas. And so a little update on that. At this point, we've actually purchased 7 houses with 1 more in contract. So we're almost at 8 houses now, and design is underway for the demolition, whereby we will knock these houses down, return them to floodplain to protect residents farther downstream, and even into other areas, into the neighboring legislative district in Rye. So we'll be helping along the way there. We also have a few flooding grants that are in the works. Unfortunately, federal funding has been lost for construction of the Avon Circle Portchester Middle School flood mitigation project, but we continue to seek other sources. We do still have work continuing on a flood mitigation study at Rich Manor Park and on design of a flood mitigation project in the Brook Lane area, which is one of our most flood-prone areas. Both of these have approved grant funding, and we're looking forward to moving forward with that. We also have a number of other grants going in the village. We're working with the county on the level 2 chargers for electric vehicles, both at Village Hall and at Garibaldi Park, so hitting both the north and south area of our village. We have existing CDBG grants that we're working on. One is existing for the HVAC at our Village Hall, and others are grants that have been approved by the County Planning Department for retaining wall, generator, and fence at our AJP Community Senior Center. Those are just awaiting Board of Legislator approval, and we hope to get that going. Rybrook remains a strong place for development. We continue to work with developers on the larger properties that we have within the village at 900 King Street and the former Doral property. Unfortunately, Rybrook saw the closing of both of our hotels in 2000, one prior to COVID, then one with COVID. And so we look to either have the hotels reopen or have other projects in those and working with developers to try and move that forward. We have a lot of community events that the village puts on. We have a series of what we call fit walks, neighborhood walks coming out of the Bruno M. Ontario Ridge Street School on weekends. As we head into summer, we have the Rybrook birthday party coming up in June. Rybrook being one of the younger communities in Westchester County, only becoming its own village in 1982. We also have Ice Cream Fridays and concert series at Pine Ridge Park, a food truck event on July 19th, and a community tag sale on July 26th. As always, we thank the county executive and the county board of legislators and the county for its support of the village of Rybrook, and we very much look forward to working with you over the years to come.
Well, Mayor, thank you so much for all the work that you continue to do in the village of Rybrook. It was really important to talk about specifically today as it's raining. Over the weekend, we've had some tremendous downpours, and talking about the village and the things that you've been trying to work on and being a leader, because I think, as you pointed out, Mayor, in Westchester County being a part of that program where people were continually getting flooded out, and then the village actually purchased those properties and will return them to be floodplains, which a lot of places around had homes built in places that were floodplains, and it's a way of addressing the concerns that continue to happen for those individuals. One, saving them the heartache and hassle that every time it rained, you'd have to worry about what things were happening and just couldn't get around that, but to move those things forward. The Avon Circle was a challenge to hear that. I know that the people in Avon Circle, there have some additional development in that area as well, and that's a concern, again, because of the challenges and changes that have happened on the federal government. It's always great knowing that your other partners here at the county level, in regional government and local partners, that we're going to continue to try to work together as much as possible to take care of business for Rybrook. Congratulations on your re-election, Mayor, and certainly we're looking forward to continuing to work with you with whatever hat you have on. There's so many that Mayor Jason Klein has, but for the village of Rybrook, being the mayor and working extremely hard for that. So again, thank you so much, Mayor, for doing that. And we're all looking forward, because we all like ice cream, and we're going to get those dates from them to make sure to show up in the park to enjoy some of the village of Rybrook's opportunities. I know that in one of the developments, I guess we've been the Rydetown Hilton. There's a proposal that's currently going in front of the village for some kind of things that are going to happen there. So we'll see what happens, but we're looking for the continued exciting times in the village of Rybrook. So again, thanks a lot, Mayor, for being here with us. We're going to switch, and then up next, we want to bring up our Commissioner of Community Mental Health, Michael Orth, Executive Director of Nonprofit Westchester, Jan Fisher, as this month in May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and they want to discuss some few things that we have going on. There's a new collaboration between the Department of Community Mental Health and Nonprofit Westchester to address the behavioral health workforce shortage, and by partnering with local universities and agencies. And with that, let us bring up those two individuals, Commissioner Michael Orth and our good friend from Nonprofit Westchester, Jan Fisher. So, Commissioner,
thank you. First, I'd like to thank County Executive Jenkins for officially recognizing the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month in Westchester, and your support for the mental health of our residents 24/7, 365. We really appreciate it. This year's theme is turning awareness into action, encouraging individuals and communities to go beyond recognizing the importance of mental health, but actually taking steps to improve mental well-being and bring about positive change. We're doing exactly that in Westchester County with several events organized by our Department of Community Mental Health in collaboration with our community organizations. And just to give you a sense of the diversity of these important programs, Thursday, May 8th, we will be at the Eastchester Town Hall for our Eastchester Care Coalition 8th Annual Candlelight Vigil, which really recognizes and also remembers those we've lost to suicide and addiction. Friday, May 9th, we're going to be at the Westchester Geriatric Mental Health Collaboration talking about important services for our seniors when it comes to mental health. Saturday, May 10th, we will be at our Tibbetts Park in Yonkers at 8:30 for One Paso, a Latino organization spreading the word on mental health and wellness in our communities. And then Monday, May 12th, we have our annual Myra Alfred's Roundtable, which really brings together over 250 stakeholders, schools, parents, advocates to discuss the importance of children's mental health. And finally, our biggest walk, which will be Saturday, May 17th, NAMI Walks Westchester. at our nationally accredited Ridge Road Park in Hartsdale. And this year we're really excited. Leading up to the event, we have a new initiative called Chalk the Walk, Have the Talk, which is an initiative that really helps people, kids, schools, organizations to really create messaging and images on hope, resilience, and spark conversation on these topics. So we'll showcase some of these Chalk the Walk pictures at the event. And finally, we also know the importance of our veterans. On Tuesday, May 20th, Westchester Suicide Prevention Coalition will hold a veterans training, what works and what doesn't help for veterans at St. Vincent's Hospital from 2 to 4. And of course, throughout the month, we often offer youth mental health first aid training and training for our faith-based communities. We also will have our digital display outside the county center, and a special thanks to Bill Weitz, who's here with our Deputy Commissioner Joe Glazer. We do a daily posting on our social media. If you'd like any information on any of these events, please call us at 914-995-5220. One of the initiatives that, thanks to our county executive and our board of legislators, is we're really trying to expand access to timely and effective service, especially since there's such great need. Along with our 988 crisis line, our mobile crisis response team, we dedicated funds from our opiate settlement funds to expand treatment, and the soon-to-be county safety net clinic, which will be opening shortly. Perhaps the greatest challenge we face is workforce. And in response, we created the Westchester County Behavioral Health Workforce Shortage and Pipeline Potential Initiative. And here is my co-partner in leading the effort, Jan Fisher, Executive Director of Nonprofit Westchester. Thanks, Jan.
Hi, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here today because this is my first and hopefully not my last event of this type with County Executive Ken Jenkins, so it's particularly exciting. We know at Nonprofit Westchester that any large social issue or small social issue is only really solved through collaboration. So we're really happy to be able to collaborate with Westchester County and so many other stakeholders to address our most critical public health crisis, which is mental illness. And at a time where we have severe workforce challenges, it's an imperfect storm. So to come together with Commissioner Orth and with other stakeholders to address this issue has been particularly rewarding. And this is a very deep and serious initiative that's taking place. We are going slow and steady to make sure that we can have systemic change. And in order to have systemic change, we have to look at systems. And under Commissioner Orth's leadership, we are digging deep. We are going to students who are in the mental health field, finding out what's working for them, what isn't working for them, the staff at universities, the providers, all different stakeholders. So universities, hospitals, mental health organizations, students, different people to see what we need to do as a system to make it better. And not only to find out what we need, but to use that information to change systems. So at the high school level, young people will be interested in this field. At the college level, they'll be interested in this field. And when they go into this field, they'll be supported to achieve their goals to go into the mental health field. We've had a number of focus groups with staff and with students, and we have an extremely intelligent, passionate group of people that want to do this work, and I know that together with higher ed, hospitals, mental health organizations, workforce development, and business organizations, we will make a difference in their lives. So on behalf of the Board of Directors of Nonprofit Westchester and our member organizations, I thank the County Executive and Commissioner Orth for allowing us to be part of this really important initiative. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jan. Thank you, Commissioner. And thank you, Jan Fisher, again, for the outstanding work that we're continuing to do here. The program that we were just talking about was more important for all of us, when we talk about Mental Health Awareness Month, not just letting people know what things are happening, but also to make sure that we continue to work together to get the professionals that are required to be able to fulfill those roles, to make sure that we're helping and navigating through the challenging times. And the 17th with NAMI Walks, to do that walk that's going to be in Ridge Road Park, which also features our healing garden, that people will be able to have an opportunity to sit and understand more in the healing garden, which was opened a few years ago, that made sure that we were able to have people be able to reflect upon those that were lost from suicide and be able to help those family members to help navigate through that. We always like to remind people, especially here in the county and all of our agencies in Westchester County, all the municipalities that are under the civil service umbrella in Westchester County, about assistance that's available for everyone. We remind people about the 988 numbers and continue to say if you know someone or you or someone you know needs assistance, 988 is available 24/7, 365 days a year, and we have so many other additional programs to do that. But this effort shows the county's efforts on many levels, partnering with our leaders from nonprofit Westchester, Jan Fisher and her board, the entire membership organization, dedication to the mental health, employment, and partnering with everyone to be able to find creative ways to be able to address the concerns in our mental health space. And again, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, but we want to make sure everyone understands that there's so many different opportunities as well to help support people do that. And there's certainly a great opportunity and a program that's worked from our Department of Correction that fits into that space as well, to continue to help people find opportunities for employment to help each other out. With that, I'm going to ask the Deputy County Executive to come up and introduce our next guest for all the work that they continue to do. It's the DCE.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. It's certainly my pleasure today to introduce some of our special county legislators representing the Board of Legislators. We have with us Catherine Parker and Judah Holstein. Why don't you guys come up? And we also have Katie Vanassi, who's the Acting Director of Children's Museum. Please come forward. And also Roseanne Finizio, who is joining us today as well. She's the Director of Policy and Programs for Child Care and Education for the county. And the program they're going to talk about today is all about families and reconnecting. Most of us, unfortunately, have become obligated to have our phones, our screens in our faces all the time. And it really does interfere in family life. And I'm going to let our guests talk a little bit about a program talking about an opportunity to reconnect and get rid of these screens. And the campaign is rooted in compassion. It's not to criticize, it's here to support. So with that, Legislator Parker, do you want to do this first, or
Maybe.
or Rosie?
Okay.
Sure.
I
Thank
can
you.
do it. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Deputy County Executive. Thank you, County Executive. Good afternoon. My name is Rosie Finizio, and as the Deputy County Executive said, I'm the Director of Policy and Programs for Child Care and Education. And I'm here today to tell you about the exciting new campaign. It's called Disconnect to Reconnect. This initiative is the brainchild of the 0 to 6 Child Care Committee and has received collaborative support from the Westchester Children's Museum, the Child Care Council of Westchester, and the Westchester Library System. The support of County Executive Ken Jenkins, along with the Board of Legislators and various county agencies, has enabled the committee to begin an education campaign, purchase materials for activity kits, and distribute the kits to a wider community here in Westchester. The idea behind this initiative is simple: to support families in their efforts to spend more quality learning time with their children and replace some of the screen time that we all engage in, I'm guilty, with collaborative play, conversation, and read-alouds. The funding of 5,000 kits, and that's a lot of kits because we helped pack them, was made possible by a grant from the Board of Legislators to the Children's Museum. The kits contain a bilingual storybook. Katie's going to be Vanna White and show you. and coloring book, Play-Doh, crayons, and wiki sticks. Right now, 16 different agencies have been targeted to receive the kits, and the committee will continue its efforts to reach out to the wider community and continue to promote this effort. I'm a former preschool teacher, so I can tell you that that play is the work of a young child. It's where he or she learns how the world works, builds self-confidence, and meets developmental milestones. I'm so happy to be part of this effort and thank the county executive and the deputy county executive for their continued commitment to the well-being of the families in Westchester. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. First of all, let me start by saying I'm Catherine Parker, and I'm joined by Judah Holstein. But the one legislator that's not here that I know we all wish could be is our colleague, legislator Nancy Barr, who worked very hard through her family's task force on really talking about the situation for our kids, how screen time stresses them out to really a point that children in previous generations just didn't have that extra challenge. And we know that it's challenging times for kids at any level. Nancy couldn't be here, but I'm very glad to be here. And I'm extremely happy to be here because in my district is the Westchester Children's Museum. And they have really done a tremendous job in putting these kits together to provide things that we can think about from childhood that gave us a chance to think, to dream, to just relax, to be calm. You know, something as simple as coloring crayons and coloring books. That program was something that, you know, we don't ordinarily do a grant program from the Board of Legislators, but we recognize that this is a new challenge, and government is here to help support and help, even our young children in the county. We want to help. So we did create a program that would create a funding stream for this. And I am really, really excited, and I'm so glad to be able to be here. Our county executive, Jenkins, has been a tremendous support as well. And it's really just an example of great collaboration. And with that, Legislator Holstein.
Thank you, Legislator Parker. Yeah, I can echo my admiration for the work you guys have done across the board here. I was not able to join you at the museum last week for the kickoff, but I was at Hope Community Services in New Rochelle in my district, where we gave out hundreds of these bags for a pre-Mother's Day event to kids that just adored it, and we're very grateful to get it. And I'm the tech guy, so I can appreciate both the value of screen time, but also the value of disconnecting and how important that is because of how much screen time is in there. So thank you again, County Executive Jenkins. Thank you to my colleagues on the board, especially Legislator Barr. Thank you for all you guys have done, and everyone for making sure this happened and helping our community, especially in Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you, because of the impact on kids with the elevated anxiety from what we're seeing with the screen. So thank you.
Well, I certainly want to join the county executive in thanking you for this wonderful program. And I think we also wanted to mention that Westchester County is the home of some 240,000 children, and they're our future. We owe it to them and to their families to help create a healthier balance. And let us remind parents that they're not alone. It takes a village, and in Westchester, we're proud to be that village. And with that, thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
County Executive?
Yes, sir. Well, thanks again, DCE, Whitney, and certainly Katie and Rosie, and Legislators Parker, Holstein, and certainly a friend of ours that's watching because she's streaming. She did that last time. She's streaming, Nancy Barr, as well, for the work that continues to be done. When we did the Disconnect to Reconnect program, I showed when I was speaking about it, I reached in one pocket and I took out one phone, and then I reached in the other pocket and pulled out the other phone, and reminded people that we're in a world that requires us to do so many things, but if we don't have that opportunity to disconnect, and especially our young folks with so many different challenges that come through the phones, we also know that parents have a god-awful time in trying to make sure that they're managed with the children. So it's a balance of trying to help provide different opportunities. Katie, thank you for standing and having, what did you call Vanna? Right? I wouldn't have done that, but Katie and the folks at the Westchester Children's Museum hosted the conversation with all of our partners, Westchester Library System, and other folks that were part of that group of folks to be able to make sure that we're getting that information out. Thank you, Legislator Holstein, for making sure that we knew that at Hope Community Services, I think they were at the kickoff as well, if I recall correctly. Seeing the Lisa Burton with the Blue Hope shirt on, making sure that we're out there and being able to get that information throughout the county, and they are being distributed 5,000 bags throughout the county, and being able to do that. Legislator Parker was at a couple of events as well. Again, it's a great program, a good opportunity, and anytime you can have Play-Doh, it's a good day, right? So we're going to continue to do those kind of opportunities and partner together to make a difference. Thank you all for what you are doing. We promised that we were going to talk about this National Correctional Professionals Week. So certainly this week we celebrate National Correction Professionals Week, and it's truly an honor to be here and recognize the vital contributions of those who dedicate their careers to maintaining safety, security, and order in all of our correctional facilities. So with that, I'm going to ask the commissioner to come up. I know that we have our deputy commissioners that are here, as well as leadership team. We have Nori Padilla, our first deputy commissioner, Michael Gerald, and Naima Johnson, that deputy commissioners up here too. Come on up together. So first, we're going to give National Correctional Professionals Week is celebrated annually to acknowledge that hard work, commitment, and challenges faced by correctional officers and other professionals working in the criminal justice system. It wouldn't be a day if we didn't have a proc. It's the whole week, so it's not just a day. The legislators are allowed to do one day, right? I don't get a chance to do like the board anymore. I'm just kidding. We can do that, but we want to make sure to do that. But we're going to have the we're going to have the commissioner speak, and then we're going to distribute the proc to him, of course, right? But have the commissioner come up and say a few words, and then we'll give the proc and go from there.
Thank you, County Executive Jenkins, for the public recognition. And as you indicated, this is a week where we take a moment to certainly highlight the great work that our correction professionals do at the Westchester County Department of Correction. And that includes our uniform, our non-uniform civilian workforce, but it also includes our contractual partners, very important contractual partners in the areas of medical, mental health, food service, and certainly rehabilitation programs and services. And so it's important for us, it's often, in this fast-paced 24/7 environment, we don't take time to formally recognize our workforce and the accomplishments that we have made over the years. And a lot of folks may not be aware that the Westchester County Department of Correction was only established in 1969, not too long ago. And that was done after a 15-month study from criminal justice experts, and they made a recommendation to consolidate the 1932 jail, which at the time was under the control of the Sheriff's Association, the Sheriff's Department, and combine and consolidate that department with the 1916 Penitentiary, which was under the management of the Department of Public Welfare. And I will tell you, in the 56 years that have followed, hundreds of dedicated professional men and women have worked very hard and made a lot of sacrifices to advance and position our correction department as a leader in the national space. And it's a big deal for us. We have made so many advancements and have had so many milestone achievements over the years, and I'm just going to highlight a handful of them. Certainly, the construction of a new generation style jail tower in 1992 was a big turning point for our agency. The replacement of the 1916 penitentiary in 2004 And as part of that project, we constructed an education center. Again, a milestone initiative that really changed the way, we manage our day-to-day operations. And on the operational side, we have in place, we have achieved over the years national certifications dating back to 1997. In 1997, we secured accreditation through the National Commission on Correction Healthcare. It means we operate under the very best healthcare standards in the country. We still maintain that certification. In 2009, we achieved national accreditation through the American Correctional Association, becoming the first large local jail in New York State to secure that certification, and only the 71st in the country at the time. And in 2017, we became the very first jail in New York State to satisfy and secure federal PREA certification, incorporating Prison Rape Elimination Act standards into our day-to-day operations. And collectively, that's almost 450 best-in-class standards that we integrate into our day-to-day operations over and above what the State Commission requires. And I will tell you, from my many years of experience, that doing so has improved every aspect of Westchester DOC operations, certainly enhanced overall facility safety, and improved quality of life for our staff and our residents. And another area that we excel in is with rehabilitation programs and services. Once an individual is remanded into our custody and they complete our assessment processes, we leverage over 30 best-in-class rehabilitation programs and services to help that individual get on a better life path, to help that individual address the elements that contributed to their incarceration in the first place. And that directly impacts that person as well as Westchester communities when that individual returns home. And County Executive Jenkins, although this is a week for us to celebrate our workforce and the many accomplishments that we've made over the years, it's also a solemn time of remembrance for us. To remember our beloved colleagues and friends who have passed away while in service at the Westchester County Department of Corrections. In the 56-year history of our department, 67 employees have passed away while in service, and including most recently, Correction Officer Kevin Higgs, age 51. So it's a time for us to take a moment and to honor their loving memories and the contributions that they made to help advance our agency into space. And you certainly have helped us formalize that process, because we now have a memorial bench and a monument on the DOC grounds to serve as a permanent reminder of the contributions that they made to support our agency. So I know I probably have talked a little bit longer than you may have expected, but I never miss an opportunity to give the public a better sense of what's happening inside the jail walls, to let them know that we have a great workforce who go above and beyond to ensure and to maintain a safe and humane jail environment and to leverage best-in-class rehabilitation programs.
All right, now. We're going to do we're going to make sure that we have because we have a photo opportunity afterwards, but Commissioner, I want to make sure that you and your team know, again, all of us continue to understand. We understand more than maybe some of the public does, and it's always a great opportunity, so never miss that opportunity to explain all the great things that happen in the Department of Correction. A lot of times when we talk about people, that remind people, it says Department of Correction for a reason, right? And then, as you mentioned, as you always mention, about taking residents in your custody and care and putting them on a better life path. And that certainly includes the work that's done from a rehabilitation perspective, but also, more importantly, the work of the men and women, the professionals that take that time every day. And it is also a Memorial Week as well. And when you think about that and you see how many individuals, including the last part, Kevin Higgs, 51 years old, it wasn't from an incident like in the jail itself. It was because of health. Right? And the work that happened, it's extremely stressful, a challenging job. Most of us would not do that. And I always am reminded, especially during this week, that we're having conclave, for those folks of the Roman Catholic faith, that Cardinal Dolan was here in the past 6 months, right? In the past 6 months at the Department of Correction. Many people don't even get an opportunity to see the Cardinal, and the Cardinal was there because it was so important for him to be able to continue to minister in the correctional, and it's not his first time, right? He's been there third time that he's been in our correctional facility because of the leadership of the team that's here, and because it's so important to understand when people are through their particular sentences, that they come back to the community, and it's best to make sure that they have opportunities to be successful and be on that better life path. And our correctional facility also has that accreditation. They don't have the same T-shirts like the nationally accredited award-winning park system, right? But we're going to work on those and add that to the swag that happens from DOC. But more importantly, is putting folks on a better life path, and that works. And whether it's for mental health opportunities, because some things that happen inside of the people that have gotten to the places they've gotten to need additional support, and they're the best people to be peer advisors and jobs. So you walk out the opportunity. That was a great program that was created, and it's just one of the many examples. So again, congratulations for the men and women on National Correction Officers Professionals Week, and we'll make sure to continue to do that and have that opportunity. Alex is whipping through the picture while I'm talking, right? And then we're going to make sure to continue on in just a moment with Richard Whitney coming up and being able to talk to us about that aforementioned nationally accredited award-winning park system. Thank you, my brother. Right? Thank you. Thank you all. Right? Richard.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
We here in Westchester are extremely proud of our Department of Corrections and their leadership team. They do an amazing job under great stress. It's a tough job, and we're really, really proud of you. Thank you so much for everything that you do. At this time, we're going to talk about our nationally accredited Parks and Recreation System. We have over 50 parks in Westchester, some 18,000 acres that our citizens get an opportunity to enjoy. And this week, as we often do, we tell you a little bit about some of the programs that will be available. This one starting tomorrow, Tuesday, May 6th, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Again, you'll be able to get your exercise in at the Westchester, where there's a mall walk, and there's quite a large group of folks that get an opportunity to join each other each week, both Tuesdays and Fridays, and they get their exercise, look at some of the sales that might be available in the mall. And then on Thursday, May 8th, from 9:30 to 1:30, we have the 57th Annual Salute to Seniors. And that's going to be at the Westchester County Center. The Salute to Seniors is an opportunity for businesses and nonprofit organizations to showcase their products and services to more than 2,000 seniors across the county. And on Saturday, May 10th, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., Homemade Love for Mom at Lasden Park. Children ages 5 and older can make homemade gifts for Mom just in time for Mother's Day. Projects include a bracelet, a Lasden sachet, and handmade card. There is a charge of $10 for the materials. And on Sunday, May 11th, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., we have a Mother's Day garden tour at Lasden Park. It's a free event, and you can join the gardeners for a free morning stroll to admire Lasden's flowering plants. Sunday, May 11th, once again, we have Bicycle Sunday on the Bronx River Parkway. It's a 13-mile-plus journey for folks to enjoy and get their exercise in. And at this time, to get his exercise in, County Executive Ken Jenkins.
Thank you, Deputy County Executive Richard Wishney. Certainly, there's one more item for our parks going on this week on Saturday, the 10th, and then again on May 17th. The Parks Department is having their Playland Employment Day, so get yourself on. And if you look on the bottom of the screen, parks.westchestergov.com, you can click there and get all that information, the times that it's starting. But again, that's the 10th, and again on the 17th to staff up Playland for the upcoming season. So thanks so much, Richard. It's been a week this week that we had so many great things. We go backwards and say starting from our National Correction Professionals Week and Memorial, to be able to remember those officers and professionals that work for our Department of Correction and the outstanding work they continue to do to make sure that leadership and the safety and security of Westchester residents will in and out are taken care of, and being able to put people on a better life path. Certainly we had our Commissioner of Community Mental Health, Michael Orr, and our friend, the Executive Director of a nonprofit Westchester, and the work that they do together. One in identifying a creative program that's in partnership to identify professionals for the mental health space, but also to talk about the many things that we're doing during Mental Health Awareness Month, and continuing to make sure that everyone has every opportunity to understand the things that are available to support them. We had Disconnect to Reconnect. We certainly had our friends, legislators Parker and Holstein, to be here with us this afternoon, but also our Director of Policy Programs for Child Care and Education, Rosie Finizio, and Katie Verdace, who is the Acting Executive Director of the Westchester Children's Museum, to talk about that. And we didn't even talk about the cool programs that happen in the Westchester Children's Museum that are on the same hands-on opportunity right on the boardwalk of Playland. So that is open all the time, so get out there and have some fun there. And we certainly had our friends here, the mayor from the village of Rybrook, Jason Klein, who has so many other things that he does, but today he was here in his capacity as mayor for the village of Rybrook, and talked about the great things that are happening in Rybrook, and we'll get those dates put on the calendar to make sure that we all get some ice cream as things are moving forward in this season. Again, we had so many things happening, and again, if you did not sign up already, make sure you sign up for that e-news, for the Parks e-news, because it also has some great discounts and things that may be happening. The Deputy County Executive pointed out some of the great activities that are coming up. We know this Sunday is Mother's Day, right, on May 11th. Everyone, and my wife tells me Mother's Day is every day, but, except for June 18th, or whatever that time frame is for Father's Day, half of the day we can get for fathers, right? But Mother's Day is coming up on May 11th. Make sure you govern yourself appropriately. If you haven't done what you needed to do yet, you still had a little bit of time over this past weekend. There was the Gem and Jewelry Show at the County Center. Hopefully you took advantage of that. With that, I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins. We'll see you again next week, or if we have to come to you sooner with some other information, again, make that opportunity to remind yourself it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And for those of you that know correction professionals and the work that they do, make sure you say thank you, especially during this week on National Correction Professionals Week. And be good, and we'll take care, and we'll see you next week.